Hello guys! Today we're going to be filming a very summery video. I want to take the advantage of this summer weather. It's so hot right now. I want to match my books to the weather. So I'm going to be reading more summery books, at least what I think are going to be summery books. I have been getting into fantasy more. I am not reading as much romance, so I decided to read a bit more summery fantasy. And for my first book, I decided to read Six Crimson Cranes. I actually wanted to read this for about 2 years, and last year I got it at the end of summer and I really wanted to read it, but I just felt like it's not the time. It just wasn't the weather for it, it wasn't the time, and I am finally ready to read it. So after a year of owning this book, I am ready to finally dive in. It is actually so amazing and beautiful outside, so I will be taking my book outside to the park and have a little picnic by myself and just start my book there because that's the perfect setting for it. So let's get started. Okay, so it's actually impressively quiet at the park. I thought everyone was going to be here. Maybe I chose a good time because it's like lunchtime. It's like 1:30 or something. So, it's pretty quiet and I can film, which is amazing. But let's get started with Six Crimson Cranes. Okay, wait. How gorgeous is that? Of course, the week that I decide to read my freaking summer reads, it starts raining and it's super cloudy, super grey out. Just my luck. But anyway, we are following Princess Shiori. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm so sorry. And she has a secret, she has a magical ability, and she lives in a land that the magic is forbidden. So on the day of her betrothal to some freaking sir of the land, she has an accident and she falls into the lake where she is rescued by a dragon. Ooh, okay. But because it happened on her day of the betrothal, she was supposed to meet her groom. Because she didn't show up for that meeting, it really offended them. So she has to make a tapestry to apologize for her behavior. And because she has to make that tapestry, she is locked inside the castle for a couple of weeks where she is just working on this tapestry. But she is also sneaking out because she has met this dragon and found out that he can teach her a little bit about magic. At the end of her lessons with the dragon, she finds out that her stepmother has access to magic as well. And she decides to follow her stepmother and find out if she actually does have magic because she doesn't really believe it. She finds out that she's an evil sorceress. And because she witnessed her doing this weird evil ritual, whatever she was doing, she curses her and turns all of her brothers, 6 brothers, into cranes, and also for her to live in exile while not being to speak a word, because if she speaks a word, her brothers will die. I can't believe how much has happened already, so I'm pretty excited for the rest of it. So let's just keep going. Six Crimson Cranes is such an enchanting and fairy tale-like story. I felt like the world building was so well done. I could definitely envision myself in this world so well. I did not have any trouble imagining it. I don't know how it was done, but it's just written so well. I think the writing is also so easy to read. It did go by fast. I thought the romantic plotline was the sweetest ever. I thought it was so well developed. It grew very steadily. It wasn't rushed at all. And I think that added to the sweetness of it. The love interest was just so good. I don't know. However, I am going to be giving this book 3.5 stars because unfortunately I could predict some of the major plot lines. I thought it was a little bit predictable. Maybe it's just that it's YA, so it's a little bit of an easier read. But what really did it for me is that for the majority of the book, because of the curse that Princess Shiori has suffered, she cannot speak and she cannot be recognized, so she cannot tell anyone her name, she cannot write it out, she cannot spell it out. She is just perceived as a poorly servant, which in and of itself is kind of an interesting plot. However, there were multiple instances where she is basically targeted and blamed for any horrible events that are happening, and because she cannot speak, she cannot defend herself. And unfortunately it happened so often that it grew tiresome. It just irritated me a little because it kept happening. Though because of it, it also gave our main character some time to reflect internally and grow. She definitely started to listen more, observe and analyze, and also become more selfless. It is still a very good book, and I think if you like cozy fantasy, this is the perfect read for you. But yeah, and even though I said I was going to be only reading fantasy books in this video, there was a casting announcement of a new movie that is based on a book, and it kind of intrigued me. I like the actors that were cast, and the marketing kind of got to me. I thought it seemed like an interesting plot line, so I will be reading The Love Hypothesis. Listen, summer is the perfect time to read romance, so I guess, I just have to. I have read Love Theoretically before and I didn't really love it. I don't remember what it was because I read it like 2 years ago, so I don't remember, but I didn't love it. So I'm hoping this will be better and I am going to like it. So let's see. I think I remembered what annoyed me about Love Theoretically. And it's that Ali Hazelwood loves to describe the love interest as big, massive, broad. Like, okay, we get it, that man is tall. Do we need to be reminded of that fact every freaking page? Oh my god, it's like actually grating my nerves. However, I like the writing style. I think that's what made me stick with the last one. I do like the writing, and I think the storyline is going to be very interesting. I just haven't read anything like that before, so I don't know, it's just interesting. But oh my god, I hope it stops because I'm only on chapter 1. So why have I heard at least 10 times how big this man is? Like, okay. So yesterday I actually read half of the book already, which is amazing. I didn't even read that much, and as you saw, I wasn't the biggest fan of it at first. But basically, we are following a 26-year-old Olive that is in her postgrad biology. She's pursuing an academic career, and we opened the book with her kissing a random guy in her lab because she told her best friend that she was going to be on a date, and that best friend showed up unannounced at her school after hours where she wasn't supposed to be, and she had to cover up somehow that lie that she created. So she ended up kissing this random guy, and one thing led to another. She started to fake date that guy who turned out to be a hotshot professor at her university. He's not teaching her, which is a bit better. But it's an interesting dynamic. Obviously, she's a PhD student and he's a professor. This whole fake dating thing started because she wanted to convince her best friend that she's moved on from a guy that she went on a couple of dates with because her best friend has a crush on him. So she basically wanted to prove to her that she's moved on, she doesn't love him, she doesn't like him like that. She wants to prove to her that she can date him and she's fine. So they enter this mutually beneficial relationship where they have to meet once a week over coffee, have a little chit chat, and the whole university can see them together and basically gossip about them. But the relationship obviously soon begins to blur the lines of what's fake, what's not. Let me start off by saying that this was kind of a cute and a very easy read, and I think that's just what I needed after a couple of my last books being a little bit more of a tedious read. I really enjoyed how the academia was portrayed. I think Olive being a PhD student and focusing on her career and focusing on the research that she wants to do, it was so well done, and it makes sense because Ali Hazelwood is a STEM girl herself. So I am not surprised that part of the book is really, really well done. I thought Olive was an interesting character, even though maybe she was a little bit childish. So other than that, I don't really have many more things that I did actually enjoy about this book. I think the chemistry between the main characters is what really got me. I did not understand where the chemistry was going to be coming from. I didn't really feel anything between them. It felt very made up because it was. Another big thing for me was that Adam, the main male character, the love interest himself, didn't have any personality. He felt very flat, very bland. I don't know, maybe it's just me and I just don't jig with Ali Hazelwood's characters because I think I had a similar problem in Love Theoretically. However, this just definitely solidified my stance on Ali Hazelwood, and I think I just don't agree with her characters, and that's okay. I don't have to love every author's work. But yeah, I think this was a very cute and easy read. So I am giving this book 3.5 stars. It wasn't terrible, I just didn't love it. Also, there was one bit about the main character, Olive, being asexual or demisexual, and I just don't think that was done very well. I didn't really see the point of it even being mentioned because it just seemed like a quirky personality trait, but it just wasn't expanded on very well. It kind of felt like a misrepresentation of that sexuality, so that was definitely another minus for me. For my next book, I will be reading another book that I wanted to read for about a year, and it is A Magic Steeped in Poison. I have read one book of Judy Lynn's before, and it was actually Song of the Six Realms. I read it in my 24-hour reading vlog, I think, and I didn't love it, but I am prepared to give this author another try and see if this book is going to be for me. The premise of it is really fun to me, so hopefully I do really enjoy it. So as you can see, we went on another picnic. It's so nice. For some reason, this day is super nice. It's been raining for the past week, so we got really lucky. I started reading Magic Steeped in Poison and I'm actually really enjoying it. The premise is super promising. We are following a teenager girl that's called Ning, and she is a apprentice of magic. This magic system is what is really interesting to me because it is based on tea and how you brew it and what kind of tea you take and put in your leaves. So different techniques of brewing. You can get different types of strengths or poisons from this tea, and we are following Ning on this journey on going to a contest to try to win and be a master of magic for the kingdom, just so she can get a favor from the princess of the kingdom because her sister is very seriously ill and she cannot help her in any other way. I've only read like 3 chapters, so I don't know what else is going to happen. I'm guessing this contest is going to have some serious implications, some political things, and I'm excited to see that. We are going to enjoy our time on this picnic because I think it's going to rain for the rest of the week. So let's get the sun whenever we can. Ching.
Read Stonebound.
Stoneburn.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to read her book, but I'm enjoying
You do?
this. It sounds cool. I like the idea. It's like kind of fun because it's not like a magic that's like direct.
What I really like about this book is that the magic is respected in this world that we're living in. It's not like people are afraid to use their magic. I think it's like a revered kind of type of magic, and people tend to respect it more. I think that's a really nice difference from what we usually see. We usually see that magic is repressed, magic is very secretive, it's not something you should be showing off to people and all of that. What I also like is the political intrigue. It's much more nuanced than what I originally thought, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it wasn't going to be as politically heavy because the Song of the Six Realms was not politically heavy at all, and I think that's what really kind of got me. It's very fast paced, and the trials and the contests that we have, it's done really well. So it's really nice to read about. This book has pleasantly surprised me. I ended up really liking it. I am so happy because I had some mixed reviews for some reason, but I don't even remember what the criticisms were. I just fell in love with this world, and this magic system is just so incredible. I really loved it. I almost wish we went into it even deeper because the magic isn't explained very thoroughly, so sometimes it is a little bit confusing as to what actually happens during the magic and how that magic actually works. But basically, the basic explanation is that it works with tea, and whatever ingredients you put in, the type of magic you can receive, which is, for example, focus, strength, concentration. It heightens your senses in a way, and it binds the Shenang master or apprentice to the person that is drinking the tea and using the service of the Shenang master or apprentice, which is very interesting. So we can kind of bind our souls together in that way, and that comes into play with a different character in the book, and it's really cool. I appreciated the political intrigue so much. It was done so well. The whole political plot, the whole political issue, it makes sense and is prevalent throughout the whole book. It doesn't diminish. It actually comes into play into the competition. It just makes it so much more intriguing and mysterious. So I am giving this book 4.5 stars. I am looking forward to reading the second part sometime soon. I am super excited to see what else is going to happen with our main character. She is also a very resilient character. I really liked how her personality impacted the whole book and her relationships. Yeah. And that's probably going to be it for this video. Even though the first 2 books didn't work out for me, I know there's some people that probably enjoyed it more than me, and I'm glad I found a book that I actually did really enjoy. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!